This video is made for adult collectors because the alt mode is old enough to be an adult collector. Netflix Soundwave was a thing, wasn't it? Walmart probably had a contract with that tooling for Soundwave, and then it became Shattered Glass Soundwave, another exclusive. Then it became Dramatic Capture Soundwave, which was a Takara import, but now it's available in regular legacy retail. This will be on store shelves, and people will now have an opportunity to grab this and try it out for themselves, and it's an interesting one at that. I had the Shattered Glass one and wasn't a big fan of it, granted mine yellowed, but this deco and the stuff he comes with kind of make this a lot more fun for me, and hey, modern plastic, so most likely it won't be yellowing, so yay. This is Legacy Soundwave, one of the two leaders, can't read. One of the two leaders for this wave with Galvatron, and yeah, it's a Voyager with extra bits, but it's a Voyager with a core and two Micromasters, which if you add that up, at least in Canadian dollars, it becomes $4 more than what a leader goes for at retail price. The value of this is neat because technically you're getting 4 toys in one box, and as an overall package, it feels more fun than Galvatron did at the same price, even though I really like that Galvatron. Not only do I prefer the amount of characters in this box, but I also love the interactivity of what you get and how all the cassettes can store in Soundwave, perch on Soundwave, and so on. I really dig the colors and how they use that flat gray color painted over most of the legs, but still leaving a little blue trim, and how the paint matches the darkish gray plastic they use on the rest of the toy. Like, it matches pretty well. And the chest looks wonderful with Buzzsaw sitting behind it. The figure also feels nice and solid. Nothing is loose on mine, and everything holds together well. The hips do the Dramatic Capture A-stance nubs thing, where there are little nubs in the hips to make him have an A-stance permanently when you put him down. But it doesn't really ruin anything. It doesn't make anything not work, so I'm just gonna leave them there. Head is very nice. I'm team yellow eyes, but the red ones do pop super well, especially when you get a flashlight behind it. The mouth plate I do wish had a little bit more paint coverage. The gray just kind of stops before the edges, leaving little blue outlines hanging out from the side. I assume that has to do with the machine and the way that they've painted it, but it is strange. He comes with his iconic weapons, his gun, his shoulder cannon, and his iconic pole he uses to beat people with who owe him money in the back alley or something. Why does he come with this? It's so weird. He also still has the siege landing struts on the arms, though they can be used as underslung guns, I guess. And as mentioned before, he comes with 3 other toys: Ravage, the blue fucker, and finally a Buzzsaw. Ravage is the Ravage mold. It's still a bit jank, and I'm not the biggest fan. Buzzsaw, though, is so nice to finally have. The yellow they chose with how well the wings are painted makes it look so colorful and alive. He can perch on Soundwave's arms using the grooves, but it doesn't hold super well. The blue idiot, though, is nice. I never got Core Rumble. That's the name on the box, so that's what I will be calling it. It's been 40 years. Who gives a crap which one's red and which one's blue? I don't care. But I never had the first release of this, and I probably wouldn't have bought the red one if it wasn't for me liking this so much. It's a lot of fun. He's just a little gremlin dude with pile drivers and really nice paint. Fitting Buzzsaw and blue into the chest are fine, but Ravage, he kind of stretches the tape deck a bit too much for my taste, so he's probably just gonna live in the accessory bin if I'm being completely honest. Soundwave. The articulation of this is pretty much just this. They're not the same mold, but like the same. So to start with, the head is on a ball joint. So you get some nice tilt. You get a little bit of up and a little bit of down. You do get a full rotation, obviously. The cannon does kind of make it a little difficult to grab the head, but that comes off, and now, there it goes. Get back in the hole. You press the button, that opens. Shoulders do a full 360. They have that weird sort of thing where they go out like this, and then they pop into place. Now, you can cheat the shoulder a little bit, but it is strange, and it's weird because, like, the Siege one doesn't really have that. I can put the shoulder literally wherever I want. Like, you can feel it slightly there, but it's nowhere near as solid as that, and I don't understand these shoulders. They're very strange. He does have bicep rotation. You have double jointed elbows, nothing at the wrist. You do have a waist joint that can go all the way, so you can twist him like a wind-up toy, and then he does nothing. The hip skirts can go forward. Hips can go forward that far. Hip skirt is an entire one piece. One piece is real. It can go back that far. You got in and out. You have thigh rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, but because the knees are so short, it Doesn't accomplish too much in the way of lifting the leg, so posing him can be a tiny bit awkward here. And then he has a tiny little bit of ankle tilt. So he's posable. He's not as posable as I would like him to be, but he's also Soundwave. You're not going to be getting him doing like insane flips and tricks. Oh, and I probably should, you know, rumble. Head is on a ball joint. He can look up all the way. Shoulders, ball joints, they can go in and out. They can go up and down like that. No elbows. That's because he comes with these. Nothing at the waist. Hips can go forward. They can go back, in and out. You have thigh rotation because there's a ball joint at the knee, which also allows the knee bend that far, and the feet can go forward. So he's still pretty posable, even though he doesn't have any elbows, but he doesn't have any elbows. I like this Soundwave a lot more than I was expecting to, and it's a ton of fun with a little bit of weirdness. Now let's get him into that outdated alt mode. All right, cassette mode, or cassette recorder mode, I should say. So to start with, pull that off. We're gonna take the head, you're gonna open this up, fold that in, and that's where the similarities to Siege stop. You fold the hands in, rotate the arms 90 degrees out, rotate the waist 180 degrees, and then this will fold back and peg into the back section here. And then you peg the arms together. Now on my copy, these love to like push themselves out. They don't sit all the way in. They sort of slowly pop themselves out a bit, and it's a little annoying. I wish it like pegged into the crotch section somehow, but yeah. We're going to fold that out. We're going to unfurl these sections. Then you're going to pop this open, fold this out, pull the feet in. Now this will peg into the foot. And on my copy, getting this lined up is really annoying. I have to like really fiddle with it. There we go. To get it into place. Whereas on my Siege and on my, what's it called? Shattered Glass one, it was fine. The desk rattle has stopped. Pull this section out, pull that out. Friggin', there we go. Then you rotate the legs, bring them up. They will tab in both here and here. So you get that tabbed in, and then get this one tabbed in. Now, I don't know if this is a mold degradation thing or whatever, but my Shattered Glass figure didn't have this problem. When you fold this down, it's supposed to peg into the front, which it does on one side. And then the other side, it's just a little too far away from the slot. So once you get it in, now this is bowing up, and it looks strange to me, and I want to fix it. And then it pops one of the sides out. It's a tiny little issue, but it's an issue that bugs me a little bit. And then you plug the guns into here, and there you go. Cassette recorder mode. God, I really want one of these in real life. This looks pretty epic, if a bit messy. The back is just the arms, and the side is weird layers, and like to form the alt mode, it's a tiny bit to me, all that stuff hanging off. I wish it was a little bit more streamlined. I also don't like how the batteries store. They're just on the back. They're there. But it is a retail product, so what are you gonna do? It is still a brick, and it's a good brick though. I like how the primary color changes from blue to gray, and the cassette door still works. It's got all the cassette things you'd want, like a record light, fast forward and rewind buttons, play, stop, and record buttons, a headphone jack, thanks modern phones. But yeah, it's a brick, but it works as a brick. I don't know what else. It just sits there. It doesn't even have a belt clip. It just sits there. But I do recommend this, especially if you want a good G1 Soundwave, because now you can get him 3 cassettes. Don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of money on the aftermarket for one, good lord, and you don't have to buy one that's brown. It's great. I do like it. I have my nitpicks, but I am happy to have this, and this is actually making me want to start a G1 Decepticons shelf now, so I'm going to be doing that. But that has been my look at Legacy United Soundwave. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.